Hi everyone, Chef Shaquay here from the Sylvia Center, a nonprofit that specializes in hands-on food and nutrition education for young people in New York City and Columbia County. Today I'm going to be making latkes. Latkes are potato pancakes served with applesauce, which is generally consumed for the high holiday of Hanukkah. I'm going to be making a little twist on it, well, a slight twist on it. I'm going to be making celery root and carrot latkes served with a spiced pear compote. Now why don't you join me, wash your hands, and let's get started. For the latkes, we have our celery root, carrot, green onion, eggs, we have a little salt, and all-purpose flour. We'll also crack in some ground black pepper. And to fry them, we'll need some vegetable oil. For our spiced pear compote, of course we have our pears, and then the spices we're going to use are the 3 C's: coriander, cumin, and cinnamon, along with lemon juice and some granulated sugar. For our equipment, we're going to need, of course, a cutting board. We have a small pot to make our pear compote in, a large skillet to make our latkes in, 2 various sizes of mixing bowls, a box grater to grate our celery root and carrot. Now if you don't have a box grater, or if you have a food processor with the grating attachment, you can use that as well, but I'm going to use my box grater. A spatula. I'm going to use my silicone spatula because it won't scratch up my non-stick pan. And also a knife and a peeler. First thing we want to do is to prep our veggies for the latkes. So the celery root, I'm going to take off the tops. I'm going to probably save the tops for stock and then peel the entire celery root. Then I'm going to peel the carrots and I'm going to slice the scallions or green onions. For the carrots and the celery root, I'm going to use my box grater to grate them and put all of those ingredients into my mixing bowl. So here's our shredded carrot and celeriac, which is another name for celery root, along with our sliced green onions. I added some salt and now I'm just going to mix this together. What we want to do is have the salt extract some of the liquid. So we're going to mix this together and let it sit while we prepare our pears for our compote. And then in a couple of minutes, you'll see like the liquid started to come out of the vegetables, and we'll drain that off, and that will lead to a crispier latke. And don't worry, I know the celery root is starting to change color, starting to oxidize and turn with the carrots, get a little orange, and that's totally normal. Remember, this will all be fried into a nice crispy golden brown anyway. So now that's all tossed up. And now let's start on our pears. We have our pears. So with the pear, I'm just going to peel them. And then after I peel them, I'm going to dice them. I will show you how to dice them after they're all peeled. And after you dice them, they could go directly into the sauce pot. So here we have our pear all peeled. Now what I'm going to do is just slice off the top and the bottom. And now it can stand up. So you're just gonna make slices down, and that's why it's important to have a flat surface on the bottom. And maybe like 2 slices, because you don't wanna hit the middle of the seeds. And I turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. And now you're left with the middle. Put that flat down. And this one we probably could go 3 slices in, because you see that color right there. I don't know if you could see, that's where the seed is, and you just want to avoid the seeds. And see, perfect, that's where the seed is. And now you have all your pear sliced up with the seed remaining intact in the middle. So now with these slices, I usually just stack them up and just do a couple of chops. They don't have to be perfect. Remember, this is being cooked. And then a nice chop down. Okay, so now we have our pieces of pear. And so I am now going to cut all of the pear and throw it right in our pot. So in the pot we have our pears, our spices, the cumin, the coriander, and the cinnamon, along with the sugar, a pinch of salt, the juice of half of a lemon, and I added some fresh grated ginger because I thought that would be a great kick. It's totally optional, so if you don't have fresh grated ginger, don't worry about it. Now I'm just going to put this on the stove and let this simmer on low. Here we are back to our latke mix. Now, I don't know if you noticed from the before, it definitely compressed a little bit, and if I pick it up, you could see all of the liquid in my hand. So now what we have to do is we could put this through a cheesecloth and squeeze out the liquid, or just use our hands to just make sure we squeeze out all of the liquid. This is probably the most important step because this will ensure a nice crispy latke once it fries up. Okay, so here's the leftover liquid. This is, we're just gonna discard of this, and here's our vegetables all pressed. And like I said, you saw me do it with my hand. If you have cheesecloth or a clean towel, you could do the same. Any method works as long as you get them nice and dry. So at this point, this is when you should preheat your pan with your vegetable oil because everything's now gonna come together super quick. Okay, so now we're gonna get this rolling and start to frying. So I'm gonna add some cracked black pepper. Remember, you don't need to add more salt because we already had the salt in the beginning. We're gonna add our eggs. I'm gonna mix that around. And then while I'm mixing this around, I'm going to sprinkle in our flour. Now this will just be like a binder for our latkes. Sprinkle in the rest. And I'll mix this up and go to the stove to start frying. So I'm going to start forming my latkes. I'm using a 2 tablespoon scoop. Oh, and you see, that's how you know it's ready. So, use the scoop, put it in, and then once it's in, use a spatula and just flatten it. And there you go. And let it fry up. Now if you want smaller latkes, you could use a 1 tablespoon scoop, whatever size you like. But the process is the same. Just scoop it, and then once it's in the oil, use your spatula to flatten it out because you don't want to burn your hands. While they're frying up, make sure you get like a paper towel lined plate to make sure you have something ready once you want to take them off the fire. We will flip these once they're nice and golden on the other side. We'll flip them and repeat the process with the rest of the batter. Yummy, yummy. Here's a little sneak peek of the first batch. Looking good. Here's the finished product. So I have the pear compote and the celery root and carrot latkes. I also took half of the pear compote and put some in the blender, so you could do that as well. You could dealer's choice, whatever you like. I know this is most similar to applesauce that's eaten with latkes. Oops. So however you want to do it. Now it's time to try it out. Okay, so now it's time to taste our celery root and carrot latkes. Here we go. Here, look, crunch. Mmm. So the celery root is a little sweet, mixed with the carrot, and it's nice and crunchy. It's really good. So now I want to try it with the pear compote. Okay, here we go. So good. The latkes came out delicious. It was a nice balance of sweet and savory with all of the spices, the cumin, the cinnamon, and the coriander, along with the hint of the fresh grated ginger and the compote. It paired really nicely with the celeriac and the carrot. Thank you for joining me today. To see more videos like this, as well as community resources and activities, please visit www.sylviacenter.org. Remember to like and share this video, and also visit our Instagram page. Please stay healthy and safe, and remember to keep cooking. See you next time. Bye, everyone.